We have to be calm and stay quiet because this week is like madness, madness. Whilst the guys upstairs are fighting on Discord and making sure that all the Broken Arrow people who are in the closed beta are happy and downloading everything. We do a little bit of yoga and relax because this is the week of mayhem. The website is still up. Thanks, Shards. Hello, Espresso Killer. I have some Battlesector spoiler for you today. As you know, it's your favorite subject. But before we go to spoil everything, let's talk about something that has just released. Yesterday we have released the first ever DLC for Starship Troopers. Thousands of people already bought it, downloaded it, enjoyed it, and we have already some awesome feedback. So that's really cool, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy that we finally managed to get some extra content out on Starship Troopers. Thanks to the awesome guys at the Artistocrats. So before we get to talk to Lucas directly about this great DLC, I'll show you the trailer for the Raising Hell DLC. So give it a look.
We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. A war against a hellish terror unlike any other. We will fight them in our bases. We will fight them in the fields of fire. We will fight them until victory, no matter the cost. Time to raise hell.
Right. Is Lucas around? Hey. Hi, Lucas.
Hello, I'm
Hi.
around.
Hi, Lucas.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. The DLC is released, so I'm good.
And everything went okay so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, we cannot complain.
That's great, Lucas. You has it been like a crunch time over the last few days? You know, are you tired and you want to go on holiday, or everything is okay so far?
It's actually been okay since we were mostly done for a couple of weeks now, just passing through, like going over some last feedback and doing a couple of minor fixes here and there. But the main content has been more or less completed for a couple of weeks, so it's not been really stressful the last couple of days.
Right.
But of course, there's always the
The
excitement.
feedback, the initial feedback you're having, are you happy about it?
Yeah, definitely. So of course we're always open to criticism, which we'll address in future updates, etc. But people are receiving the DLC well. They're, I think, happy with the new environment, that there's finally new content for the game. So it's looking good.
Are you when you started doing Raising Hell, what was your goal in terms of, you know, there's a kind of cool progression of Starship of Terran Command, you know, starting off as kind of being easy and understanding, you know, everything is pretty much relaxed and you do your very, you know, basic stuff and so on, and the difficulty sort of builds up over the, you know, over the story of the main game. Where did you start from for Raising Hell? Was it a goal like, okay, we keep it being hard? You know, did you just sort of trying to find a middle ground?
The development process has been quite complex since it originally started with the idea that we were going to make some sort of very simple missions initially, like make a very small DLC with just some very simple missions. But that was actually almost, I think, more than another year ago. But still, so and then it started to involve. Okay, we really want to do like a proper story DLC again, like the main game, because obviously we realized that's basically the strong selling point of the game, like the story DLC with the characters and the typical Starship Troopers feeling. So it then evolved into that. And from then on, it's basically been focusing on making sure that it felt fresh while still being similar to the original experience. And also making sure that we probably up the challenge a little bit and the action a little bit, so that, again, as you said, it doesn't really start slow anymore, but you immediately get into the action.
Yeah. And how would you rate Starship Troopers in the sort of the accessibility, range? Strategy games are usually kind of hardcore-ish, but the type of public. I mean, this is a weird beast. Starship Troopers is a game where you don't have to do any base building. It's very much like
Yeah.
action-based and so on. So, in terms of accessibility and making sure you were sort of addressing a widest possible audience, where would you place Starship Troopers, and what did you do to make it happen?
So obviously we realized that the license is very much appealing to like a wide audience. So casual gamers, I guess, or not necessarily only casual gamers, but definitely there's a big appeal to the IP. So we didn't solely want to focus on either casual players or hardcore strategy gamers. So I think in the end we try to deliver a product that can be appreciated by both. So in terms of where we are on the spectrum, I guess if you call it that, um, well, it's definitely easy to get into since we focused a lot on introducing the gameplay mechanics in a slow, like easy to understand manner, but at the same time very much playing the game. So there's no like tutorial where it's like click here and now click this, and so you basically go into the Battle of Clandatu, which is immediately from the movie, and that's how you sort of get introduced into the action. So I think we designed it particularly in mind with people being able to enter it, and with the difficulty levels that we offer, it offers a wide range of what people want from a strategy game. At least I hope.
Yeah, no, that definitely. I think it shows from the numbers as well. I mean, the number of people who played the original game is pretty big, right? So you kind of
Uh,
managed to sort of get that sweet spot, right? In terms of Raising Hell, when it's full of content and there's a lot of new stuff. In terms of features and new units and new stuff? What you reckon is the highlights are for this DLC?
yeah. Well, obviously the main highlight is the new planet, the fact that we're on a volcanic planet now. And with all the new like environmental features, so we have volcanoes that can erupt, and we have like sort of lava geysers that if they're sensitive to touch, I guess. So if you walk over them or throw a grenade on them, they may explode. So lava will pop out. And obviously these environmental features, they don't care about which side you're fighting on. So if you're a human and you walk over them or walk into the fire, you get fried, but you can also try to use it against the arachnids. So that's of course like the thing that instantly pops out into the new DLC, is environment. And then of course we have a whole range of new units. So the story, one of the key aspects of the story is that the on the planet there is like a mercenary group operating to protect human interest basically, and a number of the new units are focused around those mercenaries. So we have, they have quite specialized weapons because they're like tough fighters and they're accustomed to the environment for from servicing on it for so long. And yeah, we have a couple of cool new units that are based around that. So I would say that's also one of the strong aspects of the new DLC.
One of the things strikes me is that when you started, you start from Clendatu, which is like 100% original movie content, and then of course you branch out, the story and everything. It's almost like now Raising Hell. It's almost like a vast majority of the content is something that you made up, you created, and was validated and everything else. But how personally, proud are you about creating this new settings, new units, everything that's like feels so well, in keeping with with a setting, but also so personal and so, yours.
Yeah, that's been interesting. On one side, it's a bit scary to create something new within Starship Troopers because obviously people primarily want Starship Troopers. At least that's one of the strong aspects of the original game. But it's been very interesting to have like a little story of our that's more of our own creation within this world, while still keeping some of the typical, the fact that the Federation, they're not definitely not, I wouldn't call them evil, but they still have like their own way of thinking. And the fact that humans are kind of expendable, at least the soldiers, in terms of serving for the greater goods. So those sort of elements are still very much in there. We have a storyline that also focuses on the fact that these mercenaries are not necessarily entirely legal within the Federation system, because it's basically the mobile infantry that is like the sort of the armed force, but that doesn't prevent like adventurous types and corporations to employ mercenary groups. So it's been fun to like make some extra storylines that still operate within this universe, but tell like a more niche story in like a distant planet that still has like an impact on the world of Starship Troopers in general.
Yeah, Aladdin, actually, one extra question here is that, how hard is it to come up with settings and units and such that are, well within the lore, but also interesting for the players and add some extra level of playability? Is that something that, is it hard? And how do you pick these? How do you pick the subjects of a DLC like this one?
Yeah. I would definitely say that probably units is the hardest part and also probably the key part, because in the end we are like it's a tactical combat game. So the thing you do as a player, the core thing is playing with your units and playing against enemy units. So basically a DLC is only as good as the units. Obviously, there's also the story and the missions and all that, but in the end, you're playing with the units. So that is a thing we focus a lot on, and it's always a challenge to invent new units that both offer new, interesting gameplay, both for the player to units to play with, but also enemies that offer like new challenges, but also keep those units within the theme of the story. So with this one, for example, with the mercenaries, we had to make sure that it kind of makes sense that they have new weapons and sort of their own feeling. Like one of the cooler units, I think we have the engineering biped, which is like a mech, so a walking robot basically with a guy inside. And the idea behind that unit is that it's an industrial vehicle, so it's actually meant for like drilling and construction and so on. But the mercenaries have been using this against the arachnids because they basically discovered, okay, this is kind of a tough vehicle, and it's like this drilling arm, which proved to be useful to like drill holes in bugs. So it's fun to think of new units that fit again within the story, and yeah, offer something new for players at the same time.
That's really cool. I think you're spot on in that, when it comes to creating new units, it's kind of the hardest part, because you've got to have the gameplay elements, but also stuff that's sort of credible within the setting, which is, of course, much harder. Do you take inspiration from other sources like RPGs, books, and where do you take your major inspiration for these?
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know, lots of
obviously
booze
other
or
games.
alcohol or stuff like that. I don't know.
Maybe as well, but let's not mention that. So let's keep it let's keep it polite. So no, most of the inspiration I think comes from other games. Obviously, playing games like StarCraft and Age of Empires, and that offers inspiration in terms of gameplay mechanics. But I think personally, having been involved in or interested in a lot of history, and coming from the Order of Battle series, obviously I have a big knowledge by now about World War II. So a lot of the ideas, also for scenarios and events and so on, come from historical ideas and knowledge about weapons in general and so on. So I think for me as a designer, that helps a lot in creating weapons and units that are sort of grounded in reality, at least as far as the humans are concerned. And then with the bugs, again, yeah, things like Warhammer and StarCraft and all those games offer obviously inspiration in what kind of abilities they may have or look and feel.
Of course, of course. Lucas, what's next? Of course, provided everything fine with this one and so on. Are we? What are players going to expect next for Starship Troopers?
Yeah, so obviously we'll have a close look at this DLC, how it performs, what people think of it, what people want to see in the future. So we're always looking at feedback and making sure that players get what they want from the game, basically. But we're already planning to keep making story DLCs like this one. So regardless of what happens, that's something we want to keep doing because that's something we feel that is core of the game, something we enjoy doing, like expanding the universe, expanding, the amount of units that are available. So yeah, again, as I said before, this will mostly be driven by creating new units. We're always exploring different means of creating more creative units. So, for example, we're currently looking at air units, for example, that we could add in some DLC, but we have to be careful because obviously air units are not restricted by the terrain. So if it turns out they just break mechanics, then we will scrap the idea, and if we have to reiterate it in a way that it does work. But for us, of course, that also keeps the game fresh as well. We still have to create it, play it, and enjoy it ourselves. So it's always we keep looking for updates, to make each DLC unique. And of course, each DLC will also have its own planets, so it has a different visual style, different characters, new storyline. So that's still to come in the coming, I would say, months, but at least year and half years. So yeah, we have a lot of plans still going.
Looks good. Looks good. Well, Lucas, thanks for your time. I guess that your time is now focusing on checking out the discussion boards and seeing what kind of problems people are having or what kind of feedback they're leaving and so on. And I know that the first 48, 72 hours after the release are pretty stressful. So thanks for joining us, and we look forward to what's next and helping welcoming you in. One of our future events to tell us what's coming next for sure.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lucas. Bye.
Bye.
I'm particularly interested in this thing where you have a giant robot with people inside, and I'll come back to that in a few moments. Guys, I haven't been looking at the chat much. I've seen a lot of Stream Elements notifications. One important thing to notice is that if you have slits to use them within the 31st. Is that the 31st of January, right? 31st of January next year, because we're gonna reset all the slit store points after that. So you've got over a couple of months now to use your slits, and then we'll do reset after that in the 1st of February next year. We'll start having a chatbot saying this over and over again. Everything Marcus says is content. Yes, I swear, word eaters. I think whilst Lucas was talking about, I was looking at just glancing at the chat. There was a lot of discussions about Warhammer factions and things. It's something that it's fun because it mirrors our discussions internally. A lot of what we say between us, and David's in the chat can say that as well. It's like. Literally, I was leaving the office yesterday, and I was on the phone to David, and we were talking about Warhammer units. So it's like it's cool because we have the same conversations as you're having, except that for us it's like deciding what's coming next, and for you it's like hoping of what is coming next. But we're almost like having the same conversations. Right, so as I said at the start of this, again with very calmly trying to face the subject, we started about an hour ago the official closed multiplayer beta for Broken Arrow. We started allowing some, I think 500,000 players download and play the multiplayer beta. The Discord there has gone crazy mad. We're doing our best to sort of to make this beta experience as useful as possible for the future launch. So there will be a lot of learnings for us for Steel Balalaika to implement in the game and make sure that everything we get from this beta is useful. The fact that we will sort of stagger the number of players in the beta and make sure that they're allowed slowly and digest them so that we understand the server weight and usage and all kind of stuff is going to be important for us. So I hope that we don't create too many, people are unhappy because I haven't been selected or they haven't been, selected in the first batch and so on. It is a process, and we, it's not like someone has been left out because of some reasons, or it's just that we want to be, doing this in a proper or in the right way. So be patient, and I hope that you guys are going to have fun with this. I'm slightly distracted. I'm wearing my shirt ahead of representing Starship Troopers at the tag. Ah, yes, tonight. David and Mark and someone else, Neil maybe, or Annie, are going up in London to represent Slitherine at the TIGA Awards, where both Starship Troopers and Command are nominated. So if we will be watches on Twitter, you're gonna see some pictures of the event, and if we ever win anything, you'll be first to know, for sure. So for Broken Arrow, I have a video for you. Can we show the video now? Yes. You see, I look at all these sexy, beautiful things, and I kind of miss my old 2D hex-based more games. I want to go back and play some more in the East, to be honest. So it's I think it's less stressful. I mean, there's just see this lots of explosions, it's so fast-paced and such, and my mind goes like, I want something quieter. But on the other hand, it's just so good that we're able to sort of showcase this and make sure that you guys are a big part of it. So how it's going to work? This is the multiplayer beta. We're going to test 5v5 and 2v2 and all the different systems we've got, and we'll, as Neil was saying, we'll sort of start adding more and more over time. And we'll go on as long as this is going to be useful. So it could be a long process. We want to make sure that everything works fine when we release the game. Got to make sure French units get added before British. Are we starting with French tanks again? This is going to be crazy. Hey, campaign series. Hey, Jason. I know long processes. Yeah, that's for sure. We all know how long processes. I mean, imagine it took us how long? Like 16 months to release the first DLC for Starship Troopers. So, if as long as something is good, and when it comes out it works, then I don't mind long, and I don't mind, making sure that things work. When you rush things out, usually there's something wrong is going to happen. So I like the idea that we're doing things, trying to do things in a proper way, and I don't dislike postponing things. And about postponing, maybe I have something to say. Should I say something about postponing games? And no. Battlesector spoilers. Yes. First, before that, I want to tell you that unfortunately, today is also the day when we'll stop saying things about Strategic Command World War I Empires in Turmoil during tea time, because we've just released it. So let's watch the video for this DLC, and we'll be back with more announcements, spoilers, and more.
Empires in Turmoil expands Strategic Command World War I to include some of the most momentous battles of the turbulent second decade of the 20th century. 7 campaigns will be added to the game, covering the period from 1912 to 1919. First, we have the Balkan Wars. Decades of nationalism led to the formation of the Balkan League, an alliance aimed at expelling the Ottomans from Europe. After their initial success, Bulgaria turned against its former allies, sparking the Second Balkan War. The Bulgarians needed to act swiftly to prevent the formation of a new alliance against them. Next, we move to East Prussia, where von Hindenburg faces an unenviable situation. He must confront the Russian First Army advancing from the east and Samsonov's Second Army advancing from the south. Victory in East Prussia is crucial to the whole German war plan. In 1915, General Townshend's advance on Baghdad has been halted, and his command has been forced to retire to Kut al-Amari on Tigris. Here, they prepare to withstand a siege. This DLC also brings to life the East Africa campaign. In 1916, German East Africa stands alone but resolute. The British have assembled a second invasion force poised to invade the Kaiser's last colony from all directions. Colonel Paul von Lettow-Vorwick is prepared to lead his Askaris in an audacious guerrilla campaign, forcing his opponents to chase him all across East Africa. Last but not least, the Russian Civil War. On New Year's Day 1919, Russia has never been more divided. 2 revolutions have shattered its government. Uprisings have sparked a civil war, while leaders Kolchak and Denikin sense an opportunity to topple the Bolsheviks with a grand offensive aimed at Moscow. As a surprise, Empires in Turmoil also features an extra campaign. The French Army and Sir Douglas Haig's British Expeditionary Force stand poised to launch a joint offensive on the Somme to relieve pressure off Verdun and potentially win the war in the West. Assemble your armies and prepare for battle. The powder keg of Europe is ablaze.
Love the key art, and this is my famous turn-based, hex-based war game I was asking for. So that's Empires in Turmoil. This is available now, and it's your update to Strategic Command World War I. Later today, Yogdog is going to run an interview to Bill and Ryan from the Fury Software team on this channel around 8:30, something like that. So Yog, as you know, Yog is the biggest world expert of playing Strategic Command. I think he's got like 100 billion hours played. So make sure you tune in later on today. For information I wanted to give you, and a number of spoiler announcements, which are things that... There's something missing there. Anyway, the Battlesector. So, give you a big picture. Battlesector will have... we won't release a new faction this side of Christmas, because... Mainly because we have a plan, and we have a plan that's cunning and cool, and 2024 is going to be huge for Battlesector. We also want you to know that the idea is that Battlesector will receive a lot of support in a way that we're trying to sort of make a proper a quarterly plan for 2024, where we already have stuff that's decided there. And the next big faction DLC will be released in Q1. But we have for you some news, and the news is that we are going to start releasing free content for Battlesector, meaning that you'll be able to download actual new units for free starting next week. So the first unit we're releasing is a big giant robot with a guy inside. So you're going to be able to download this Blood Angels unit, the Invictor Warsuit, next week. I think it's going to be Monday, if everything goes right. But this is part of an ongoing way for us to support you players and the game in a way that we've never done before. Making new units for Battlesector is not, and I put it very, very bluntly, is not cheap or something that is done in a fortnight. It requires a lot of care and attention to detail, and we're going to tell you more about our plan as we go. But this plan is to make sure that we show how big our dedication is to this game, and we're also willing to sort of give you more to play with, and make sure that we support the game in a way that sort of it's kind of innovative for us, and in a way allows you to keep using your favorite factions with new units as we go. So the idea here, it's that over the next few months, you'll see a lot more of these coming through. I hope you like the idea. We're going to sort of collect your feedback and start collecting also requests for new units you want to see in the game, or for factions that we have already released. And maybe run some polls as well, but see what else it is that you would like to see in the game. So I'm sorry if there's anything in the chat. I'm just hiding behind the thing here. Please raise DLC prices to fund the development of this great game. Well, raise DLC prices is always something. It's a touchy subject, I guess, Asterix. I agree with you and I disagree with you. I think that pricing is not an easy exercise. Absolutely not. And it's also something that could make or break your community. So we want to be very careful in what we do. You've seen it with Starship Troopers, Terran Command, Raising Hell. It's taken a long time to develop the DLC, very long time, and also a lot of resources. Again, if you look at the amount of assets, it's not just like dropping new units in an existing scenario. It's like almost like redoing the game in a way, but it's priced $9.99. We want to make sure that what we do with pricing is correct all the time. And sometimes we see a lot of debate about pricing and what is the correct price for something. It's never a perfect answer, but we know it's a subject that we need to address every time, and to pay a lot of attention to as well. Pricing needs to add value. I mean, I think the DLCs we do are trying to add value to the experience, and again, it's very subjective. Sometimes you think something is very easy to make, and it's not. Sometimes it's like, right, something seems very complex, and maybe it's not. So it's it's like, you know, when we added Planetary Supremacy and Black Lab was working on new modes and so on, you know, working on a new game mode is not a slam dunk. It's always, you know, a lot of programming time, and so it is something that, okay, but we then decide, you know, we'll release it for free. But whilst you release it for free, you give something that you can play with. And so it's an interesting debate to have, and I like it that some of you are saying it's too cheap, or, you know, price it higher, because on the other hand, there's always, you know, a lot of people saying it's too dear. So it's an interesting debate. So I urge you to sort of you know, continue the debate, because it's also helping us make the right decision. So yeah, so basically more units coming, and join the Discord on Battlesector and make sure you leave your comments there, help us find the next unit. We have already decided what the next unit is going to be, the next free unit, but there's plan for a lot more in 2024. So follow us and make sure that you give your preferences there. I'm taking this a long time here, and I know that Gamer wants to play some strategic command now, so I'll be fast and finish. The next big thing, next month, we're going to release a new awesome DLC for Valerin Victory as well. First time we do a Pacific setting for Valerin Victory, so very clearly called Valerin Victory Pacific. This is going to add a lot of new stuff to the game. We're having new units, new maps, new everything, I guess. Almost new everything. Sort of new gameplay stuff happening in the game. It's going to be a lot of new features, like, you know, foliage cover. There's going to be lots of cool battles, like historic battles. Of course, Japanese army and a lot of new units there. And of course, you know, unmissable Burma, some Chinese units as well. So you'll be having a lot of fun there. This is going to be the last DLC for Valerin Victory this year. I think that the numbers are showing us that there's a, you know, strong community of players, and we'll see how this one goes, because it's also a departure from the core gameplay experience of the original Valerin Victory, with so many different gameplay enhancements. So we'll see how it goes, and I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of interest towards this game, so hopefully you guys are gonna give it a try. And Yobo War Games is working hard towards finishing the DLC for I think it's December 5th. We're releasing the new DLC. So stay tuned on that. We'll give you more information in future tea times and future videos. So make sure you follow us. News for ICBM. We have a new dev diary coming up next week. No, tomorrow. There will be a new ICBM escalation dev diary, so stay tuned for that. With more information about what ICBM, the next chapter in the ICBM franchise, will contain. I wanted also to thank massively whoever's come over and see us at Warfare. We have been there last weekend. Last weekend, was it? Yes, or the previous one, I don't remember. Time flies. Warfare exhibition in Farnborough, sort of the biggest European war gaming exhibition. Paolo was there. Actually, Paolo won the Flames of War tournament. So we have pictures of Paolo with his award, with his prize, but also pictures of the actual conference, the actual exhibition, which is probably more interesting to you guys. Look at, can we show, why do we show this at tea time? It's like, okay, right, gosh, you're showing Paolo's face on tea time is always a bit of a letdown, whilst people are waiting to download their Broken Arrow beta. And we need a mandatory Napoleonic exclusive content for 2024, Paul. Major Alvega, you will be rewarded one day, I tell you. You definitely deserve a Napoleonic content. We'll make sure that it's a part of the plan for the future. We sponsored and Paolo won. I know, Shards, I was a bit worried that somebody would actually mention this. Nobody did, but you did. So thanks for raising the thing. I'm a bit confused by it. Napoleonic Field of Glory 3 was just announced by Marco. No, because Mordante is not around. Maybe we can say to Mordante next time, did you hear about the new Field of Glory thing being announced? And he will fall off his chair and never talk to us anymore. Guys, I've got to give you the streaming schedule. Everything looking good for Stargate release in December. I think 12th of December. If you haven't played the first episode, grab it on Steam. It's doing very well. I'm very happy about the feedback we're receiving so far. So that's very good. The streaming schedule for the next few days is very crowded. We have after this we have Yog playing as Ship Troopers. Why do you keep things Ship Troopers? Starship Troopers Raising Hell. At 6:30 we have Gamer playing Strategic Command Empires in Turmoil, Strategic Command World War I Empires in Turmoil, and at 8 p.m. Yogdog is 8:30 p.m. Yogdog is going to interview Bill and Ryan from the development team. Tomorrow we have Stargate Episode 1 with Gamer at 6 p.m. Das Tactic is playing Distant Worlds 2 at 8 p.m. and Hexabu is playing Terminator Dark Fate Defiance at 10 p.m. I wanted to say something about Terminator today, but Julia wrote this to me. Terminator, maybe let's keep this subject on hold. So I can't say anything about Terminator. This is the notes I have on the sheet. It's not like me saying anything. Then Monday at 4:15, Kushan is playing Command Showcase. And Gamer at 6:15 is playing Strategic Command Empires in Turmoil again. And Hexabu is playing at Rule the Waves 3 at 8:15. And Yogdog is playing Warhammer Battlesector. I guess it's Surprise. I think he's going to play it with the Invictor Warsuit new unit on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Marco, any chance of the Flames of War IP coming in Slitherine game? I wish. We all love Flames of War here. So, you know, it's just a great game. What about Terminator? Can't say anything right now. Field of Glory. Field of Glory news. You're trolling me. All right. There's a poll. What's the poll? What was the poll? I can't see it. Should Slitherine make a Napoleonic game? Yes. I think we'll make a Napoleonic game. David, make a note for Monday meeting, Napoleonic game. Start production now. Guys, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you next week. I hope to have more news about all the games that I mentioned today and all the games that I didn't mention today as well. And, you know, I guess that the more we know about stuff as we approach release, the more we'll tell you. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for participating in the beta for Broken Arrow, and thanks for being such an awesome. I was talking to a journalist over lunch an awesome community. You know, great feedback, forgiving, accepting all our you know, sort of requests for feedback, and I just love to be part of the community, and I thank you for all the great support. I will see you on Thursday next week.
The attraction towards new experiences is powerful. Alienware gear isn't made to resist that pull. It's made to accelerate it, to transport you to new places where you can embrace difference and leave familiar behind, bringing you ever closer to the ultimate experience. See you on the other side.